There are a lot of great fifth wheel RVs out there with a lot of different interior color options, but something about Keystone Montana and what they have done with their interior for the past year or two really just stands out to me and is one of my favorites. Curious if you agree or disagree, so let me know. Let's go take a look. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Myles with Firmly Unbound, and we are here at Blue Compass RV today in Buda, Texas, just outside of Austin, Texas, taking a look at this Keystone Montana 3123RL. You'll be able to see the floor plan layout and the specs on the screen, and keep in mind as you're watching this video, if you are ready to start looking for your next RV, there is a link down below in the comments and description to help you find a store close to you. Blue Compass RV has over 100 different stores across the United States, so there are tons of locations all across the US we can help you out at, and we are here to help when you are ready, and that link is down there to help you get started. Coming along this side, you can see the baggage area here. I guess knock out some of these areas on the outside real quick. You can see how these doors open up. You got this little grab handle here to make that door easier to open up, which is nice. Wide, really big storage area because of the drop frame construction that we have here, with this being a full profile fifth wheel RV. You can see your storage area there for your sewer hose as well. Going to be very easy to get in and out of that space. You have a water filter right there. And then I also love that you don't have to duck under anything to get to this water bay area. Now, I didn't mean to come over here to talk about the water bay space. I was looking for this sticker right here. Slam latch baggage doors on the outside as well. Magnet latch to hold that in place, plus a little clip there. You can see how that was slammed shut. 12,880 pounds, 3,640 pound cargo carrying capacity, and 16,580 pounds fully loaded. And this is right at about 35 feet. It does have a 16-gallon gas and electric water heater, and then it has a Lipper 6-point hydraulic auto leveling system. Montana's the only one that I can think of that I've seen so far that's using this new Lipper leg system here. Definitely a much wider base on those legs than another, type of leveling system that you might see here, like the electric auto leveling system. So that was something that is like a newer leveling system from Lippert there that I haven't seen on anything else but Montana yet. And then that's pretty much everything. We'll talk about some of the rest of the stuff on the outside here in a moment, but I do want to mention real quick, Montana has a couple different options if you're looking at Montana fifth wheels. First of all, they have a full body paint option. So this here is sticker decals. This is what a standard Keystone Montana looks like. And then they'll have full body paint options if you do not want sticker decals and you want it to actually be automotive grade paint across this whole fifth wheel RV. That would be something kind of similar to like what we're looking at on this Montana High Country that also offers full body paint packages, which this one does have. Keystone Montana's also might be seen with a legacy package. This one does not have the legacy package, but the legacy package is going to include things like a power cord reel, a touchscreen control panel for the fifth wheel that connects to your phone, a surge protector, a oh my gosh, what else? A power cord reel. I think I said that. Oh gosh, there's like one or two other things. Dang it, now I'm gonna have to go look it up. Disc brakes, side and backup camera systems, and I believe that is it. Oh my gosh, I just looked at the list. I already forgot if that was everything, but I think that was everything. So a wide range of different equipment that comes on that legacy package as well. Oh, and a rear fiberglass back cap. So when we go outside on the back, you'll see it's just a flat laminated wall on this one. With the legacy package, it'll be a molded fiberglass rear cap. Now, what do you think about this interior color scheme? I have the shades all closed because it really allows you to see the colors better than when we have that natural light coming in here. So this is what it will look like in your full privacy mode. I just really like what's going on here. The lighting with the LED light strips up through the crown molding there, having the lighting underneath the island as well. I think it's just a really nice warm feeling in here. With the color tones, you still get those, modern feel of color with this brown being more of a light brown, but it doesn't really have gray worked into that brown color. So it definitely comes off more warm than it does cool. And then you have this white here in this area that really contrasts everything in here pretty nicely, if you ask me. But I want to know your guys' thoughts. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. So this here is Montana's basically 35-foot island kitchen fifth wheel. A couple things that I really like in here is they do an off-centered sink in the island, so it gives you more countertop space on one side, so lots of space to work with here. Across from that, you have your stove. This is nice and symmetrical. The only thing that's not symmetrical about it is they do drawers on one side and a cabinet here, but other than that, equal countertop space on both sides. Don't have to worry about if your pots or pans are going to hit the sidewall or splatter on the sidewall since it's right there in the middle. So I really like that as well. And then as we turn around this way, see, even in like your solid surface countertop here, that's likely like a ceramic material, you have a bezeled countertop right there. So that is really nice where you get that bezeled finish. Just a nice little subtle touch that nobody else does that gives it a little bit more of a higher end feel when you are looking at it. No carpet in the slide outs, and there's always something that's kind of worth mentioning with Keystone products. Hopefully they're still doing it, and they are. They wrap the subflooring down underneath the slide out box, so that is something that not all brands do. Most brands, if I do this, you just see bare exposed wood underneath there. So a little bit of added protection in that space. Right here, you're going to have a legless dinette table, 2 dining chairs, but there are 2 more up underneath the bed, and then you have a little ledge right here to set some things on as well. And it has a leaf that will extend out. All of your windows along these walls are going to have these blackout shades. Now you can see these are the same things that we first saw in the Brinkley model fifth wheels, where they have these shades that come down from the bottom. They do have holes in them, so you can see how that's letting some light through, but it's really not too noticeable. It's very, very private. So that is nice. And then on any of your windows that open up, these are magnets on the bottom. So if you allow it to engage, you can kind of move these both together, and then you can separate them as well. And then you have a bug screen that comes up from the bottom on any window that will open. Then you have like these individual windows up here, so that's like a smaller window that runs along that way that does not open, and it's just nice big window coverage all along your campsite with wood framed windows, no valances. That was a big change Montana made as well that makes this look a lot more residential in here, that I definitely appreciate. Along with that, they went to a different kind of slide out fascia design where I've been really trying to make sure you guys have level expectations when you go into RVing. One thing that I don't like to see, and I'm definitely seeing this more and more as I get more confident in my position on this and discuss this with more people, there are certainly a lot of people out there that I'm realizing got into RVing that have absolutely no idea what they were getting into. Like literally not even the slightest clue. And that's sad. That's unfortunate because this is not something you should get into without knowing what it is that you are getting into. People go into buying RVs and they expect it to be similar to like the car industry. It is not. It is similar to a home ownership experience. So if you have owned a home, you know for a fact that at some point in time, something is going to break and it's probably going to be a little bit inconvenient and it might even suck a little bit. Ask me how I know. Because I own a home and I literally have had to fix my irrigation system twice. I have to basically recaulk my entire home. There's fence posts that are falling out. I mean, there's always something. I flooded my bathroom trying to fix the flush valve on my toilet. All kinds of different things. And owning an RV is going to be a very similar experience. So with that being said, they fixed these slide out fascias on here to a more finished off design that doesn't show so many cosmetic imperfections. I can see that like they're definitely using nails along this black little rail piece right there that are holding that in, but you don't really see them. So I like that because there are a lot of other brands out there that definitely have some more cosmetic imperfections in these areas that stand out a bit more, and sometimes that shocks people. They don't pick up on that when they're just watching a video, and then they come to see it in person. They're like, oh, this doesn't look like it's very well finished. And sometimes they're not, because it's just, I mean, the only way they can adhere these on really is, you know, one of two ways, basically using some sort of really strong adhesive on the other side and sticking it on there, or using nails or nails or staples along areas here to secure it in that are going to leave holes. And this is one of the best looking finishes I've seen, aside from something like some other brands that literally have like absolutely zero staple holes or nail holes in them. But nonetheless, that looks really good, and it didn't used to look that good in years prior. Then we come here. This is really interesting because they are doing a Lazy Boy collaboration for their furniture. So you can see here with the recliners, there are a lot of different functions in here. It looks like we have like the power recline here, and gosh, I don't even know. I haven't played with this chair all that much. Oh gosh. And you know what? I wish I could give you more information on what all of these buttons do. I'm going to hold it up real closer so you can see the graphics that are on here. And let's go ahead and speculate in the comments below what we think all these different buttons do. It looks like it might have a memory 1 and memory 2 setting on it, and then maybe like a home setting that just takes it back to like a default home position for the chair. So maybe some, I don't know if like a phone is connected to that, because I literally couldn't even figure out how to get it to recline. It looks like you have adjustable headrest here, yeah, you can see that headrest is going to adjust and stuff like that. So I'm guessing this probably does too. This likely will adjust as well. However, what I will say is, while this does offer the flexibility of being able to move these independently, and you get a little bit more comfort customization that you are able to work with here. Here's the pamphlet actually right here for these power recliners. So you'll be able to read through this, and I'd actually rather just see our thoughts and opinions on what we are guessing these chairs do in the comments. I'm sure somebody's going to know for sure. But nonetheless, I was expecting when I heard Montana was doing a collaboration with Lazy Boy that the furniture was going to be a pretty considerable step up from what standard RV furniture is. And I was kind of disappointed to find out that this furniture basically feels exactly like the Thomas Paine collection furniture that is standard in fifth wheel RVs that you see in almost every brand of fifth wheel RV. The material and just the overall comfort of sitting in the chair, as far as the cushioning and the material itself, is like nearly identical. Now, I don't know if they're using a different material that maybe will hold up better over time or something along those lines. That is possible. But just in the sheer conversation about comfort, it feels almost exactly the same, which it was a little disappointing. I was expecting something that was, going to be a step above what is, comparable to everything else out there. But to continue moving on, when you do sit in this recliner, you can see you are sitting a little bit in front of the island, so just something to consider there with this. You have your outlet right there in the island, 50-inch screen TV, you have your electric fireplace, that will be an electric heat source for you right here, JBL sound system, and then you have your 3-cushion sofa here. This 3-cushion sofa will pull out and make into a bed, so that essentially is going to give you almost like a king-size bed that goes in this area here. Windows all along the back side, you have nice light features here on each side of the window. You have your AC here in the living room with the ceiling fan, and that AC does have a residential air filter inside of the AC, so that is going to be much better for air filtration than anything else out there. Almost no brands have a residential air filter in their air conditioners like Keystone does in their Montanas with that Coleman Mach system. It is prepped to add a third air conditioner in here, so if you do feel the need to do that, you can add a third air conditioner where that vent fan is, and it is prepped to add a WineGuard Wi-Fi router in that space there. Coming back this way, if you are looking to full time in a fifth wheel RV, these Montanas are definitely rated for 4 seasons. So they test these down to 0 degrees all the way up to around 100 degrees for just getting to a comfortable temperature inside of this fifth wheel RV. So this is something that is, one of Keystone's top of the line fifth wheel RVs that they offer, which is definitely going to come prepped and ready for something that is capable of handling all 4 seasons. You have your USB ports here, type A and type C, outlets down here in the corner. And then as we turn back around this way, I don't know if there's any storage. Oh, there is some hidden storage down underneath there. That's nice. And actually, I just lifted that up, but it looks like it had a little latch here that looked like you could push on it, but that actually did not kind of really function in that fashion. So not true on that, but a little shelf down underneath here as well next to that space. And as we turn around this way, behind your 50-inch screen TV, you have some shelving back behind here. Nice place you can put game consoles, Blu-ray players, anything like that. And a subwoofer back here as well with an independent gain knob for that subwoofer. So you can get independent control of the sound on that. Coming into the kitchen space, you have soft close cabinet, doors, and drawers. So everything will be soft close on there. Really like the color of this kind of like brushed bronzish, goldish looking color there. In your drawers, see they're using a solid wood in here with staples for the drawer construction, and these are soft close on those. 4 drawers on this side. On this side here you have a little utensil divider there, and a spot for 2 trash cans and sink covers. Stainless steel sink here, and then underneath here is just an open space, but there is not prep to add a dishwasher. They do have individual shutoff valves on the water lines though, which is nice. I don't know that they were doing that in years prior that I remember. So I turn back around this way. We have the price right here. You can see it's $89,995 on this fifth wheel RV. And this here again is at Blue Compass RV in Buda, Texas, although they have stores all across the country that can help you with finding your next RV. So if you're looking for your next RV, there's a link down below in the comments and description to help you get started with that. Come around this way, you have a 3-burner, very industrial looking stovetop here. Outlet towers on both sides of the countertop, so you have outlets and USB ports with type A and type C connections on both sides of your countertops here in this space. A little bit smaller oven than the biggest ones out there that you can get in a fifth wheel RV, but still adequate for most cooking that you'll find yourself doing. And because it's not one of the largest, you get storage space underneath the oven that you don't get on some of the bigger ovens. And then finally right here, you have this little area right there with another shelf that will go in that middle space. So you have some shelving that pulls out from here. You have your Furrion 12-volt refrigerator and freezer. When we open these up, does have an ice tray there in the freezer portion. You can see your freezer area here as well with the tray there. And then when we open the fridge, nice look there, pretty standard fridge and freezer setup. And then they did something pretty nice here where they give you this split sort of pantry. So this is going to give you one side being just strictly a designated pantry there, and here is the shelf that is for that little slide out shelving area underneath or next to the oven. And you have this adjustable space in here. It has LED lighting in there obviously, and then as we close that and open up this side, a little bit different. Slide this open and you have a coffee bar area with adjustable shelving or whatever you want to use that for, but you have an outlet there with the countertop so you can plug things into that space and use that as like a actual, I just think most people use it as like a coffee bar, but all of that can be tucked away and out of the way, out of sight when you do not want to see it, which is pretty nice as most fifth wheel RVs don't offer that in where their coffee bar setup is going to be, where it will always just kind of be out and exposed versus this one being able to be concealed away. So I kind of like that. I think that's pretty nice. Central vac system here. This has the floor sweep in it as well, so you can kick this up and you can dust everything to that one space and it'll suck it in there to your central vac system. Also comes with a hose that will reach the entire length of the interior space for that central vac. Coming this way in the hallway right across from the entry door, you have all of your controls, manual switches for this fifth wheel RV. So you have your slide out controls, your awning controls, all of those things. And talking of slide outs, you can see here, this refrigerator will not be blocked by the island kitchen with the slides closed, so you will be able to get to that fridge. You have shelving all down through here, USB ports in here as well, so you can put your phone in here to charge or something like that. And you can see they all have this woven PVC style flooring material here that just gives it a soft padded area there for your items. Hooks right here, a little cork board there as well, and then grab handle going up into the bathroom and bedroom area. Going into the bathroom, nice looking cabinetry in here. Also, ladies, they were thinking about you. Actually, maybe they were thinking about the men, and these are beer can holders or beer bottle holders. But more than likely, these are probably for your curling irons, blow dryers, things like that. And I wonder, doesn't look like they have an outlet in here, but let me make sure I'm not missing anything. No, but the outlet is obviously going to be right here on the wall. Got your storage space underneath here, spot for your toilet paper, and then a little drawer right there. Medicine cabinet, and then a nice big mirror, as you can see right here. Turn around this way, you have a molded fiberglass one-piece shower that goes all the way up to the ceiling line there. LED light strip in there as well, and the shower tower with a flip-up bench. They have a bigger max air vent fan where most fifth wheel RVs in this size do not have, and in this price range they usually have a smaller vent fan in the bathroom, so love that. And if you enjoy some shower karaoke, they do not discriminate against that with Keystone Montana, and they give you a speaker with its own zone here in the bathroom. Storage here. And down this side, nice big storage at that, spot for your trash can and a porcelain foot flush toilet. And of course we have liquefied. This here is a black tank treatment that you can get for your RV. You can find that on Amazon in the powder formula like we're seeing here, the liquid formula, and the pods formula. So go check that out on Amazon to take care of your black tank and keep your RV smelling fresh. And that's pretty much it. Ceiling height in here is pretty dang good too. As I step in here, I slipped my shoes off, so I'm standing at about 6'1". Ceiling height in here feels like it's right at about 6'1" to this area right here, but the skylight covers a good amount of space, and you can probably be about 6'4", maybe 6'5", and fit in there. I don't really fit underneath this, so I'd have to duck a little bit or sit on the bench. And then you do have the wand here as well with this shower system. Also have the body sprayers too. That's everything here in the bathroom. As we go back this way to the bedroom, Really nice closet design here. Curious your thoughts on that, and I'll show you what this looks like with it closed up. But let me show you the rest of the bedroom first. Ooh, and we got something interesting to talk about. I'm actually really excited to talk about this here in just a second. King size bed here. You have the individual reading lights. I love these reading lights that we got right here. So you have the individual little halo light, soft ambient light, and then you have the direct reading light as well. Can be a very nice soft light for you right when you wake up in the morning. That's something I didn't really think about when I bought my travel trailer, how when I wake up in the morning, all my blinds are closed in my bedroom for privacy purposes when I go to sleep. And when I wake up, the first lights I turn on are the bright overhead lights, and man, they are way too bright sometimes. So it's nice having that little soft ambient light. TV here in the bedroom already installed and framed out as well. So not just installed, but they have this whole framed out structure here for the TV that most brands don't do to give it a more finished off look. Enjoy that. You have your light switch here for the bedroom. And then under here, you can see they're using a more premium mattress as well. You can't see the graphic for it because it must be on the other side, but it has a soft side and a firm side. So you can actually pick which side you want. And it's a pretty nice, more memory foam style mattress. Plus, of course, you have storage underneath here. This is where your additional chairs are for your dining table. And hidden storage up underneath there. Very nice, divided out area for you. And 4 drawers here that open up. Go to the closet space. You have this whole central kind of area here. Outlets and USB ports in that area. A laundry hamper space and 4 drawers. Washer and dryer can go on one side over here, so all this can get removed and you can do a washer and dryer in this space. So you have your connections for that there. And then when these close, they just slide like so. And it's kind of interesting to me how they did this. It makes sense, but it's also interesting. Because they keep the vented area right here where the washer and dryer is, so that area can get some additional ventilation through that space. Makes sense. That means all of your full body mirrors are here in the area where the bed is at, which means if you're trying to see how you look for the day before you step outside, the one area that would need a mirror to be able to do that does not have a mirror. But to switch that around, they would have had to do the washer and dryer over there, and then there would have been an equal amount of complaints about people saying it's going to be annoying to unload and load the dishwasher with the bed right there in the way. So I don't know, they could have moved it over there. Maybe that would have been the best solution in my opinion, but who am I to say? But anyways, that's everything in this space. Then that brings me to this little fun boy to talk about right here, this little fun thing going on here. And I have to say, prior to like maybe 2 years ago, or I don't even know how recent it was, I used to walk into RVs and I would see something like this and I would fix it before I would start filming the RV. And I decided to stop doing that for the sole purpose of wanting you guys to have realistic expectations on what to expect when RVing. I'm going to be very real with y'all because I really just want you guys to have the best experience possible. And some people, the best experience possible is quite truthfully going to be flying and taking a rental car and staying in a hotel. Because if you walk in and you see that, and that really bothers you, you're not cut out for RV travel. I can just tell you right now. You need to watch my videos, my RVs or junk segments on my YouTube channel here. I have a whole playlist of those videos that you can go find. And this isn't like to be mean or anything. It's just the honest truth. If stuff like that's going to bother you, you're going to experience stuff like this pretty frequently or regularly with owning your RV, at least for the first like 6 months or so, because you might over time like fix and repair stuff like that and do it in a way that it doesn't happen again. But for the first few months or maybe even the first few years, every time you take your RV out, there might be something like this that happens as you're going down the road that you might have to fix. Now, for me, I literally do not even bat an eye at this. This doesn't bother me at all because literally all that is required is coming up here with some nails and nailing this back on. And if you want to take some extra precaution, you can use like some double-sided sticky tape or some thick double-sided tape. Have that adhere up here and then use nails to reinforce it, and that thing should never come undone again. Takes less than 10 minutes to fix with the time to acquire the materials unless you have to go to the store. So it's not a big deal. And I keep all of those types of things inside my RV knowing that stuff like that will happen. But if stuff like that is going to drive you crazy and it's going to make your experience miserable, you're not going to enjoy owning an RV. The same way if you go into buying a house never expecting to have to fix anything yourself or having the money to fix things when they break, you're not going to enjoy buying a house. And it's the same way that some people aren't built for home ownership. This is the same way that some people aren't built for RV ownership, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I want you guys to see those things so you can know what to expect and expect those things to come, so that when you go out and use your RV, you're not shocked and just having a miserable experience because you just weren't even thinking about the possibility of that happening. And I would hope that if you go into it expecting stuff like that to happen, when it does happen, you just kind of laugh it off and enjoy the rest of your trip, because that's what I do, and I still have a great time. So that's my 2 cents on that. We can all talk about and, you know, discuss and wish for RV, you know, building practices and stuff like that to improve. I don't have the power to change that stuff, but I do have the power to kind of help set and level expectations for what to expect. So I'm trying my best to do that for you guys, so you really know what you're getting into. So hopefully y'all appreciate that, because a lot of people will try to hide that to sell more RVs, and I just do not want to take that approach, because it really hurts my soul, like legitimately, every time I see a comment on social media saying something about how the RV experience sucks. And I'm just bummed when I hear people say that, and I think it's because of unmet expectations, or just people having not necessarily too high of expectations, but not having realistic expectations. We kind of looked through the storage space here already. Let's go along this side. Down underneath here, you have Cooper Work Series tires. So that's an H-rated tire. You have a Road Armor suspension system here as well. That's one of the highest grade suspension systems you're going to find on a fifth wheel RV. Although I do have to say I'm a little disappointed. There's other brands like Alliance. Actually, you know what? I have it here right next to me. I don't always like to do comparisons like this, but if I flip over to this Alliance benchmark, which granted this is not a fifth wheel, but I know they do it on their fifth wheels as well. You see this additional steel frame piece right there? It's this piece right here. This is giving reinforced strength to this running gear down underneath here. And you can see on this Keystone Montana that they do not have that. It is just right up into the frame. It doesn't have that reinforced piece of steel there. That is definitely something that is making it a little bit more vulnerable to, you know, the pressure that it's going to experience turning and things like that, which I'm not too thrilled to see. I feel like that's maybe something that's like a standard that every brand should do. It's not meaning that it's guaranteeing that something could happen down there, but if something does happen down there, they're going to fix it by setting it up more like what we just saw here on this benchmark to make sure it doesn't happen again. So I definitely wish that it was like that from the get-go. And again, that's something that, you know, are flaws in these models that I'm not going to hide from you guys. If I recognize it and see it, I'm going to tell y'all. So hopefully y'all appreciate that, even if it is, you know, more, you know, not highlight-like information about these fifth wheels here. Ladder to get up onto the roof, brake and reverse lights back here, prep to add a backup camera, and then you'll have 220 watts of solar on the roof. Right here, you're going to have your hitch on the back. This is going to be rated for 3,000 pounds. So you can tow off the back there. And then on these slide outs, you have a cable driven slide here for your smaller slide outs, and back here going to have a rack and pinion style through frame slide out there. Looks like all your dump valves come to this one area here on the fifth wheel. All black and gray tanks come to that one spot. Fully enclosed underbelly, 12 volt heat pads on the water tanks. Everything that you need for this to be rated for 4 seasons. Except maybe that third AC if you are going to be camping in warm, humid temperatures. That is something to consider. But that's about it. So very curious your thoughts. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and hopefully y'all appreciate the information I share with y'all. And if you're looking for your next RV, there's a link down below in the comments and description to help you get started. And until next time, live firmly unbound.